Hey guys, it's Scott with Scottie B Cards. In this video, I want to look at all the active MLB Hall of Famers and what their coolest card is. In this video, I'm gonna do something that is gonna be a lot of effort, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm going to be looking at every player I think is going to make the Hall of Fame. And I also wanna show you what my favorite rookie card of said player is going to be. I was gonna do the best rookie card, but that is so my opinion versus what actually is just expensive cards. You know, it's not gonna be the best. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my very favorite base card of each player, base rookie card. So that way it's more obtainable for the average person as well. I'm not moving any markets, you get the idea. So I'm gonna do 100% chance of making it, and then I have the 75% chance of making it, the 50% chance of making it, and the 25% chance of making it. If you're in the 75% chance of making it, I think you have at least a 75% chance. You can go all the way up to like 95%. And basically, if you have a 25%, you only have a 25% at least as well. So stats to know will be very stat heavy in this video, but also very baseball card heavy. So don't click off. WAR, wins above replacement. It summarizes a player's offensive, defensive, and base running values and puts them into one stat. Anything that's like around a 4 is good, like all-star level. Anything that's like an 8 is like MVP level. Anything around like a 10 is like generational level. And so that's what that is. Jaws is going to take a player's total WAR and their actual peak 7 years WAR, so their best 7 years combined, and take the average of that to give you Jaws. WAR for 162 games played means on average for a player's full career, what is their average WAR for 162 games played for a full season. OPS plus is going to be OPS, which is on base plus slugging compared to league average and ballpark factors. So basically how much better a player is compared to league average, including the actual environment of what's going on in Major League Baseball, as well as the ballpark they play in. WRC plus does the same thing, but takes into consideration how the player gets on base. That's the Fangraphs equivalent. OPS plus is the Baseball Reference equivalent. Black ink is how many times a player's led a specific stat in that particular league. Gray ink is how many times they've been in the top 10. Hall of Fame Monitor just analyzes metrics like 3,000 hits and stuff like that. Hall of Fame Stats looks at like if they made it to the World Series, if they won a World Series, what position they played. In Baseball Savant, percentiles is going to be, I'll just show that when you see it. It'll make more sense. All right, here's Mike Trout. I think if this player retired right now, Mike Trout is a 100% Hall of Famer. Maybe not generational like we all thought and hoped. He led the league in WAR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 3 MVPs. Look at all that black ink. That's black ink. All the right here, how many times he's led the league in something. We actually look at black ink for Hall of Famers. He has 33. The average is 27, so he's well above there. Career 173 OPS plus, which is one of the highest ever for a right-handed hitter. And on top of that, he has 86.2 career WAR. The average Hall of Famer is probably around 60 to 65. So he's well above that. He will be a Hall of Famer. Will he be remembered and collected? That's up to you to decide. Here are my two favorite Mike Trout rookie cards. I know I said no parallels, but I'm only showing the parallel to give you an idea of how good 2011 Topps Finest looks. That's all. The base card does not do this card justice, but I love the 2011 Topps Finest set, yes, but this card in particular of Trout is my favorite. Great action shot of him running in probably spring training if I had to guess, and I think it just shows Trout. He's still in like the 95th percentile in speed, which is insane. And then you can't go wrong with the 2011 Topps Update, one of the most iconic cards of the last 40, 50 years, in my personal opinion. Next up is going to be Max Scherzer. I don't want to dive too deep into a lot of these players' numbers just because we know they're Hall of Famers, but he has 3,000 strikeouts, a career 3.16 ERA, 75.4 WAR. Not much more you can say. 3 Cy Youngs, 2 World Series. You get the idea. I love this 2008 Topps Chrome Update Refractor. This is actually a box topper in 2008 Topps Update hobby boxes only. There's like 40 different box toppers, so it takes like 40 hobby boxes to get the Scherzer. I love this card. I think it's great. No parallels. That's fantastic. Next up is Justin Verlander. Exact same as Max Scherzer, 80.5 WAR, over 3,000, almost 3,500 strikeouts, 262 wins, a 3.3 ERA. He has how many World Series? He only have 1. 2 World Series as well, 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP. He has a triple crown. Yeah, Hall of Famer. And I like his 2005 Topps card. You might say, why not his Bowman Chrome? Oh, I forgot to mention this. I'm not doing autographs, just base cards. Maybe I mentioned that. So I like this card. He doesn't really have a Topps Chrome of his non-autograph version, only a Topps Chrome autograph. So I actually just like this card. Very classic draft pick. His actual rookie card came out, well, this is actually his actual rookie card, but there's actually cards in 2007 with the rookie logo. This is considered his rookie card. Up until 2006, I believe, maybe 2007, players who had their first card in a set, this is their rookie. So this is his rookie. After that is Clayton Kershaw, another great pitcher, gonna get to 3,000 strikeouts this year, 79.4 WAR, 3 Cy Youngs, MVP, 2 World Series. Well, 1 World Series here. He was left off the roster in 2024, but he got a ring, so you can count it. So either way, same as Scherzer. I love his Topps Chrome Update. One of his best cards ever. Great card, really cool card. card. After that is Mookie Betts. You may say you're a homer, and I might say you're right. But I like Mookie Betts, and I do think he's a Hall of Famer. He has essentially 70 WAR for Baseball Reference. If you look at Fangraphs, though, very interesting, only 59.7, so 10 less. The biggest difference you're going to see for any player, he was hit hard by the defensive switch from UZR to outs above average. He was hit really hard because it missed a lot of his peak years early in his career. I think in like 2015, he had a great year. But either way, he lost quite a bit of WAR that way. But Hall of Fame type player, he has an MVP, 3 World Series, now 6 Gold Gloves, 7 Silver Sluggers, a batting title. He's just really good. Here are the Baseball Savant percentile rankings. It shows how well a player is in a category. 97th percentile means he was better than 97% of the league at one thing. So he was 97% better than the league at hitting, better than 60% percentile on base running, below average at defense because he played shortstop, still elite in the outfield. But overall, Mookie Betts will be Hall of Famer. I picked 2 cards, and this is again a parallel, but this is Topps Chrome Update. Topps Chrome Update, there's only about 10,000 of his rookie cards out there. Sounds like a lot. It's not a lot. It's definitely not a lot. We're in like hundreds of thousands for players now. This is the black parallel number to 99. I think it's great. Not saying you should buy the black parallel, but that's a cool card. I also have a soft spot for his Stadium Club rookie. I like his Stadium Club rookie. This is the first inning of his first home game in Fenway Park. So pretty cool card there too. After that is Freddie Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman is a Hall of Famer. And maybe not if he retired right now, and that's some of these players. Maybe not if they retired right now, because Mookie only has like 1,500 hits. But if he just has even a bad aging curve at this point, he'll be there. And I think the same thing can be said for Freddie Freeman. You can see still 87th percentile in hitting and 54th percentile in fielding, which is fantastic. A 142 OPS plus for his career. He's 42% better than league average, has an MVP, 2 World Series, 3 Silver Sluggers, 1 Gold Glove. You get the idea. Freddie Freeman will be a Hall of Famer. And this is his Topps Chrome rookie card. I went between this and actually like the Finest isn't that great, even though I love 2011 Topps Finest. Wasn't that great. This is his best image in my opinion. Plus it's Topps Chrome, which is valuable. But this particular card, it makes him not look like a goober. A lot of his cards from that year, he like aged really well. He kind of had some baby fat that he lost as he got older. But I like the 2011 Topps Chrome set. Great Freddie Freeman card to target. Next up is Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, he has a lot of work to do still, but he's done things that no other player has really ever done besides Babe Ruth. Not saying that automatically makes him go in the Hall of Fame. There's other players that did things no one's ever done. Doesn't mean they're Hall of Famers, but Ohtani is a Hall of Famer. 43.8 WAR. He's now had, if you look over here, 9.2 offensive WAR this year. Last year, he had, I think, a 10 WAR season and won an MVP last year. 3-time MVP, only 29 years old. A 157 OPS plus. I don't have his career ERA here, unfortunately, but I think it's in the middle of the 3s, maybe low 3s. Either way, iconic player, important player, Major League Baseball history. He does not have as much Fangraphs WAR, but overall, Baseball Reference loves him. Here is my favorite rookie card of Ohtani. This is his Bowman Chrome hitting image. There is no Bowman Chrome pitching image. There's a Bowman Chrome paper image, but this is his Bowman Chrome hitting. Great parallels of this card. They look fantastic. They're very sought after. I like it better than his Topps Chrome because in his Topps Chrome, he has a Topps Chrome and a Topps Chrome Sapphire and a Topps Chrome Update, multiple different Topps Chrome images, but then the Bowman Chrome is really short printed in comparison, and on top of that, it's iconic now with his Bowman Chrome autograph. It's the same image, so this in a parallel is sought after for that reason. After this, Paul Goldschmidt. You may be saying, Scott, you're a homer, and I might say you're right, but I also know how the Hall of Fame voters vote. Paul Goldschmidt has had a better career, maybe similar career to Todd Helton. Todd Helton just got in. Not saying Paul Goldschmidt's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he still is a Hall of Famer. 139 OPS plus, very similar to Freddie Freeman. He has less hits than Freddie Freeman, has more power than Freddie Freeman. 2,056 hits, 362 home runs. Probably will get to 400 if he plays the next 2 years, which I think he will. 62.8 WAR. Miguel Cabrera has like 67 WAR because Paul Goldschmidt's a good defender. Miguel Cabrera was not. This year, even he was basically league average base runner and fielder. And realistically, in the second half, he was a really good hitter too. He was above average hitter. Let's not exaggerate. But either way, you can see his gray ink. He's actually been in the top 10 in some offensive categories 136 times. Hall of Fame Monitor puts him over the 100 score. He's still adding up hits and things to get to the Hall of Fame standards. Either way, his 7-year peak right here for WAR is 45, while the average first baseman is 42. His JAWS is 53.9. The average Hall of Famer is 53.4. He averages 5.3 WAR for every 162 games played, while the average Hall of Famer is 4.8 WAR. So I do think he gets in, and I do think he has more in the tank as well from what I saw at the end of this last year. And 2011 Topps Update is his best card. 2011 has some interesting images for cards. I do like his Bowman Chrome. I actually don't mind his Sterling rookie as well, but I do think his 2011 Topps Update is so iconic and so special, and the parallels are so great on this card. 2011 Topps Update is just a goated set, to be fully transparent with you. So that is why I have that as Paul Goldschmidt's card. Next up is Bryce Harper. He is one who has probably the most work to do of anybody I've shown on this list list so far. He does have 2 MVPs, which is huge for his Hall of Fame resume. He has 4 Silver Sluggers, Rookie of the Year, only 51.1 WAR, because historically in right field he wasn't a good defender. But hold up, look at his first base defense. He was in the 82nd percentile defensively this year. That's not first base, that's Major League Baseball. He's an elite defensive first baseman. Makes you wonder why he wasn't put there a little bit earlier, because he was so bad in the outfield. But either way, he does have a positional adjustment, because WAR does do positional adjustments, but he's been very solid, 149 OPS plus. If he's able to get his slug up, which is absolutely possible, where he'll have a mid 900 OPS next year, he's going to have another big season, I'm assuming. First baseman Bryce Harper is going to be great. We can get an idea. He is averaging 5.0 WAR for every 162 games played. That's average for a Hall of Famer. That's because of his defense. Offensively, he's probably well above the standard. And this is his best rookie card, in my opinion, my favorite rookie card of Bryce Harper. This is his Top Series 2 red helmet short print. These are very hard to find, and they're very expensive for that reason, but I do love this card. I think it's a great card. It's one I used to own and I regret selling, and maybe I'll get one again in the future. And these are the players with at least a 75% chance of making it, starting out with Aaron Judge. He has had a fantastic career. Obviously, we want to see him do more in the postseason. That's what's in all of our heads right now after the World Series, but I think he'll get there. Barry Bonds didn't have a great postseason track record until like he got really older and got a little bit bigger for some reason. I don't know. He had a really great postseason, and they didn't win the World Series. They probably could have. It was against the Angels, and Barry Bonds had like 8 home runs and a very high OPS, which lifted all of his stats. Aaron Judge, I think, can do the same thing. Give these players enough opportunities and it's going to happen. Small sample sizes are always crazy. Either way, I'm being an Aaron Judge apologist. Forgive me there. He has a 173 OPS plus for his career, over 1,000 career OPS. The reason I didn't have him in the 100% lock is because he debuted at age 24 in 2017. He only has 1,026 hits. Hard for me to say he's a guaranteed Hall of Famer if he can't get to 1,500 hits, which I think he will, but if he got hurt, it might not happen. I think he absolutely will get to 500 home runs, but we'll have to see what happens. And I hope he's healthy. That's his big thing. If he's healthy, he's going to have a good career and finish with good postseason stats as well, in my opinion. Here are my 2 favorite Aaron Judge cards. Mid 2016 to 2018 Topps Chrome Sapphire cards are the best. They're just the best. Only 250 of them were made, and they just look amazing. And then 2019, they were okay. 2020, they kind of all went downhill, and Topps Chrome Sapphire has never quite been the same. Looks fantastic, way better than the actual refractors in 2017 Topps Chrome, in my opinion. If you don't like Topps Chrome imagery, because this is like, there's actually like a guy's crotch right there, which isn't great for this card. And if you look at regular Topps Chrome, here's just a really great imposing stance of Aaron Judge on his Bowman Chrome rookie card. I think that's a great image. So that's Aaron Judge. Next up is Nolan Arenado. You might say, why didn't you put him at 100% chance? I don't know if he's 100% chance yet. He's really slowed down. In 2020, 1.5 WAR. That's because of the shortened season. 4 WAR, 7.7, great. 2.4, 2.5. These are very defensive heavy. If you look at his OPS plus for your career, it's a 120. I think he will be a Hall of Famer. I'm more than 75% sure. He just needs to compile stats, and I don't think if he retired right now, it'd be like a slam dunk. The thing he has going for him is the 6 platinum gloves and the 10 gold gloves in a row. So he has all the stats that I think will get him there, but he does need to perform a little bit more, add a little bit more counting stats, because he was league average essentially the last 2 years offensively with a 108 OPS plus and a 101 OPS plus. So that's Nolan Arenado, still an elite defender. He was actually above average offensively, but he's very bad in the bases. He's pretty slow. No surprise there. I like his 2013 Topps Chrome rookie card. He has a Topps Chrome update rookie card with a very rare parallels similar to the Mookie Betts in 2014, but I like this particular card, and I don't know why. I've always been attracted to it. I've always liked the X-Fractor in particular. I owned an X-Fractor for like $10, sold it for $50. That was one of my first big flips back in the day, and I've always liked the card. Next up is Manny Machado. I think they're very similar players. You could argue Machado is closer to the Hall of Fame in some ways, but further in other ways. You might say, why does Manny Machado only have 2 gold gloves? And that's because of probably Nolan Arenado and a few other third basemen in the AL that were great defenders. So Manny Machado, though, he has 57.8 WAR. He does have an OPS plus of 124 for his career. If we look at the average 162 games played for his WAR, it's 5.4. Average Hall of Famer's 5.1. He has lower 7-year peak than the average third baseman Hall of Famer with 42.4, and he's still below in regards to JAWS. He's only at 50.1 JAWS versus 56.2 for the average Hall of Famer, so he needs to compile. He needs to be good still. I think he will. Only 32 years old. Arenado is going to be heading into his age 34 season, so he's quite a bit older, and he's only at a 50.5 JAWS, so he still has work to do as well. But for Manny Machado, the card I like is going to be his Topps Chrome. If that's boring, we do have his Bowman Chrome. I like both of these cards. I think they're great. They're both fielding images. A lot of his cards are because he was a great defender, and I guess Topps just likes kind of categorizing players the way that they do. After that is Jose Altuve. I can hear people typing right now in the comments. Jose Altuve is going to be a Hall of Famer. I do think that. It's a Hall of Fame career as of right now. The issue is the whole scandal thing. I think that's not going to keep him out, especially if Carlos Beltran gets in, but you never know with the way that voters are. But I think Altuve will get in easily personally, but I still put him in the 75 tier because of that. He's a negative defender now in his career, but he's had some good defensive seasons, won a Gold Glove, won an MVP in 2017. You know, he has a World Series in 2017, but he does have also a World Series in 2022, I believe. And he was great in 2022. So Jose Altuve will be a Hall of Famer, 2,200 hits, 229 home runs for a second baseman, 306 career batting average, which is incredibly rare for modern baseball. And he does have how many top 5 MVP finishes? 1, 2, 3. But he has a bunch of top 10 and a bunch of top 20. So that's Jose Altuve. You can actually look at his stats up here. Gold Glove, 2 World Series, 7 Silver Sluggers. And if you actually look at his Fangraphs WAR, which calculates defense a little bit differently, he has 58 WAR versus his Baseball Reference at 52. I think he'll get to the Hall of Fame personally. His best card, my favorite card of him, is going to be his Bowman Chrome rookie card. His Bowman Chrome rookie card is one of my favorites. He doesn't have a Topps Chrome. He hardly has any rookies at all. No rookie autographs. Same with like Paul Goldschmidt, no rookie autographs whatsoever. And I've always been drawn to this card. I think it's cool of Altuve, and I've just enjoyed it. So that's why I picked that one. Next up is Francisco Lindor. Look at that baseball savant down in the bottom. 94th percentile offensively. Had his best offensive year last year. 89th percentile in base running. 96th percentile defensively. He was just good. He had his best year of his career, in my opinion. I know he had a 7.2 WAR in 2018. That was more defense heavy. He had a 132 OPS. He had a 138 OPS this year with 33 home runs, 29 stolen bases. Was a 30-30 guy last year. You might say 49.6 WAR. That's not very good until you realize he's 30 years old, which is great. And on top of that, he has 54.2 Fangraphs WAR, which is great. 41.2 7-year peak WAR, and he does average 5.8 WAR per every 162 games played. I do think Francisco Lindor makes it. I think this last year was a very big part of his legacy. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top 10 MVP finishes now as well. 3 top 10 MVP finishes in a row. I don't think people realize that. He's been really good with 5.6, 6, and 6.9 WAR in a row. With Soto, I have to imagine he's going to have a lot of pitches to hit like Aaron Judge did this last year. So we'll see what happens with Lindor in 2025 and forward. Here are my 2 favorite Lindor cards. Always love this Topps Chrome short print. I don't know why, but this is one card I've always just loved. I've had the autograph version a few times, sold it to Filmington, and that was dumb, but I sold it to him. And I've also loved this Heritage rookie of Lindor as well. He looks confident, not cocky in this picture, and I think he looks great. I don't really usually love Heritage images, but I like that one a lot from spring training. Next up is Jose Ramirez, former teammate of Francisco Lindor, 52.4 career WAR, 51.5 career WAR for Fangraphs, and this is going to be top 10 MVP finishes he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at all those in a row. 1, 2, top 5, 3 top 5, 4 top 5, 6 top 5. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He has to compile. That's why he's not 100% yet. Once he gets to 60 WAR, he'll be there. He has to compile. But he's been good. And you can't say he's underrated or slept on because we all know about him. But it still feels like he's underrated and slept on. And so Jose Ramirez, he does have for Gray Ink 140, where the Hall of Fame is 144. So he's basically going to be there. Has not led the league in many offensive categories for Black Ink. But overall, he's been solid. A 130 OPS plus guy with plus defense for his whole career, plus base running for his whole career. He almost had a 40-40 season this year. He probably would have gotten it if he got that last game at the end of the season, but they canceled. Only played 161 games for Cleveland this year. His best card, he does not have many Topps rookie cards. This is probably his best, his Topps Chrome. Not his best image of him blowing. Actually, might be his best image too, to be fully transparent. And this is my favorite of his. If you can get a parallel of this card, it's great. He has no Bowman Chrome first. He has no Bowman first at all. So his Topps Chrome is especially valuable compared to other players. After Jose Altuve, we have Juan Soto, a New York Met, 100th percentile. Look at that 100 at the bottom. 100th percentile offensively, 10th percentile defensively, age 25. Ugh, that's not good. And then you have fielding value at 38th percentile, which is below league average. He was a Gold Glove finalist. Gold Gloves go a lot more off of DRS, which is defensive runs saved, where MLB outs above average says he's negative. DRS may say he's positive. I haven't looked. Either way, he had an 8.1 WAR for Fangraphs, 7.9 WAR for Baseball Baseball Reference, a 178 OPS plus. He had a WRC plus of 180, which is weighted runs created plus. Again, he averages 6.3 WAR for every 162 games played. Would be a lot higher if he wasn't so bad at this stuff down here. But offensively, he's just great. He's just cinema. He's just so good. He's so good offensively. 160 OPS plus, entering his prime right now. I hope he does well for the Mets. There's a chance that contract just does not age well, and that's fine. We're about that in 5, 10, 15 years. But this next year, it makes the Mets immediate contenders. They were already in the NLCS last year, so what am I saying? But I do think that this makes them perennial contenders, which is great for people like Lindor. Not because Soto makes Lindor get more value, but because Soto is there, and if Lindor plays well and goes to the postseason more, helps his Mets legacy, which I think is important. Then we can look at his rookie cards. I've always loved this archived rookie of Soto. I have no reason behind it. It was his first rookie card in packs they released. I remember buying archives, trying to get it. Bought one blaster, did not get it. But I also do love his Nationals Topps Chrome Update card right here. Look at that red helmet with the blue jersey and the white pants, red, white, and blue in his actual hitting image. It just is a beautiful card. 2018 Topps is a beautiful set. Topps did a good job. So those are the cards that I'm fond of. Next up is Chris Sale. You might say, why is there a 75% chance Chris Sale makes the Hall of Fame? Because I think he will. I really do think Chris Sale has a great chance. He has, if you look at strikeouts, right? And we have to compare him to who he's playing with right now. After Max Scherzer, after Justin Verlander, after Clayton Kershaw retire, who is the pitcher? Who is the guy? Like, realistically, even when Chris Sale's retired, who are we going to be looking at? We're going to have all those workhorses, those players who are able to do it for like a long time with longevity, and then there's not much. I think this Cy Young really helps his candidacy, which is like the most obvious statement anyone's ever said. But either way, it really helps his candidacy, which is great. And he's actually been in top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 10 Cy Young votings. He finished runner-up once, and he's been in the top 3 one other time as well. But overall, if you look at his Hall of Fame monitor, he's actually averages 5.5 WAR for every 162 games played. The issue is he hasn't played very much. He's always hurt. Put it all together this year. Basically, when he was 31, 32, 33, he didn't pitch. 34, he did pitch. Wasn't as good, but this year he was great. So if he has just another couple okay years, we don't need this year again. We just need a couple more okay years because he's at 2,400 strikeouts. Just stay around to get 3,000 strikeouts. He has a career 3.04 ERA, which is amazing. He just needs some innings. 138 wins sounds like nothing, but 150 is the new 300, it feels like. I know that's dramatic. That's how it feels for wins. Anyways, that's Chris Sale. I like his Topps Chrome rookie card. Want to see something cool? I just bought this. It's gold. It's the gold out of 50. I don't know if you can pick it up or if the umbrella lights are killing it, but that's his Topps Chrome rookie card I picked up. So put my money where my mouth is. 50% chance of making it. We have Ronald Acuna Jr. This one pains me to put him here. I think he has over a 50% chance of making it. So don't kill me in the comments. But the reason I say that is because if we look at Ronald Acuna Jr., he has 165 home runs, which is great. A 139 OPS plus, which is great. But he's basically missed this last full season with his ACL recovery. He had half the season in 2021 when he tore his ACL in the other knee, 2 ACL tears. He is going to have to change his game. He's going to have to be a slugger, which he can do, but he's only really ever had like one monster season. He had a couple of really good seasons, like in 2019, he had 5.1 WAR with 41 home runs, 37 stolen bases, led the league with 37 stolen bases. And then in 2023, it's like, this is who he is. This is his potential. He hit potentially his ceiling. And then this last year, he wasn't good. He had a 101 OPS plus, so exactly league average essentially. Then he got hurt and he was out for the year. It was unfortunate. He didn't look healthy the whole time he was playing, but either way, Acuna, I think he has a great chance, but I think his chances are lower than Juan Soto at this point. But look at this card. Just look at this card. This is his 2016 Topps Chrome Sapphire, one of the best cards of the last 20 years. I love this card. I love everything about this card. I love the design. 2018 Topps I've already praised in this video. The Sapphire is amazing. 250 made. The image is good. This card is iconic, and so that's one thing he does have. It's a great card. Next up is Garrett Cole. You might say Garrett Cole has a higher chance than Chris Sale. That is recency bias talking to you, my friend. The reason I say that is because Chris Sale has better numbers overall. Like, right, we can look at ERA plus, which is the same as OPS plus compared to league average. He's 130. Go look at Chris Sale. Chris Sale is going to be, I didn't cut it out. No, I don't have it here, but it's higher than 130, I believe. But on top of that, he only has 2,200 strikeouts. He's a couple years younger than Chris Sale. I think Garrett Cole has a great chance at the Hall of Fame for the same reasons said about Chris Sale with who's going to be the next good pitchers. I think that's actually going to help Felix Hernandez on the Hall of Fame ballot. He's hitting this year. I think he has a chance because of the lack of pitching in Major League Baseball now, so you might appreciate his peak more. But Garrett Cole has a great chance. I said at least 50% chance, could be 75%, but he just needs to get more advanced stats and needs to get more traditional stats. And I think he can do both of those things as long as he can stay healthy. This last year with the elbow injury was a real bummer with how he only had 17 starts, 2 WAR, had a good World Series until he didn't cover first. That was brutal. But either way, I love this card. This is his Topps Chrome rookie. He has a Topps Chrome and a Topps Chrome update and a Topps Chrome update debut. But this one, I'm always just like weirdly fond of pitcher cards where they have the pitch thrown and the player's watching it. I have one of Zach Greinke. I don't think he's thrown the pitch yet from 2011 Topps as well. I guess they did that a lot with horizontal cards. I like those type of cards. I think it's cool. Next up is Giancarlo Stanton. Giancarlo Stanton, 4th percentile in base running, which makes sense. He actually was 78th percentile offensively this year. Only 0.7 WAR because of the DH WAR adjustment, and he only had an OPS plus of 115, only an OPS of 773 last year. He turned it on in the postseason. I think that could carry over into the regular season this next year. But 44.7 WAR, he's been hurt by playing as the DH for the last however many years, 5 years or so since he went to New York, 6 years since he's been in New York, and he hasn't been particularly great. He's had a couple of good years, but nothing great like he did in his last year in Miami when he won the MVP. Either way, Stanton can get to the Hall of Fame even without advanced numbers as long as he gets to 500 home runs. That's what he needs to do. If he can do that, he will make the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He still could make the Hall of Fame if he's at 499 home runs. I don't know. If he doesn't make it from like the actual writers ballot, the Veterans Committee will probably get him into the Hall of Fame. 136 OPS plus with a lot of home runs and a lot of other great stats. Only a career 257 average though, which isn't great. So he only averages 4.4 WAR for every 162 games played as well. Here are my 2 favorite Stanton cards. Stanton has so many great images. He has so many great cards. He doesn't have many cards, but all of them that he has are all good. This is his Topps Chrome wrapper redemption. So this is actually given to packs, I believe, when you open the box and give the wrapper, and I think that's how that worked in 2011. And then his base Topps Chrome card right here where he looks like Jason Momoa and he looks great. This is Mike Stanton, not Giancarlo. He changed his name a little bit later, went back to Giancarlo where he's more comfortable. Either way, I think he has a good chance of making the Hall of Fame. Kenley Jansen, don't turn the video off. Don't do that for me having relievers here. Craig Kimbrell's coming up too, just so you can get ready for it. I think he has a 50% chance of making it. He is an elite closer. I don't have this on here, which is idiotic of me, but he's a top 5 closer in regards to saves all time with 447 saves. The argument against that though is like, well, saves have only been around like 50 years compared to like the history of baseball, so it's not quite as impressive. Either way, he still was good last year with a 3.29 ERA with 27 saves, 1.3 WAR, which is good for a reliever. So he's not done yet. I think he has a really great chance. You would never have guessed that from Dodgers fans complaining about him because they never trusted him, which makes sense. I did not include Aroldis Chapman in this video, by the way, at all. I don't think he has enough to be as good as Jensen or as good as Kimbrell. Either way, I like his Bowman Chrome rookie. Reason I like this one is because he only has 2 rookie cards that I know of, I believe. He has his Bowman base, his Bowman Chrome, which is the same image, and then his Topps Chrome rookie. I gravitate towards this card. It's a better card, in my opinion. Better image, plus Bowman Chrome has parallels, which I like. Next up is Corey Seager, and I did not realize how bad this man was at running the bases until I made this video. Good defender. He's been a plus defender, and he's been good offensively, but if he could just figure out how to be better on the base paths, his WAR would be a lot higher for his career. One thing I want to note, he averages 5.8 WAR for every 162 games played, which is exactly the same as Francisco Lindor. The exact same age 30 season as Francisco Lindor. He just has dealt with injuries, and because of that, he hasn't played as many games, and so he hasn't been able to accrue as much WAR. Either way, 2 World Series MVPs matters to me, and him having MVP runner-up plus having one other MVP top 5 finish, and he has a 135 OPS plus for a shortstop while playing good defense, that's good. And so hopefully it all depends on age 31 to 35. If he has a good age 31 to 35, averages 4 WAR those 4 years, he's a 56 WAR player, then he can age poorly after that. I think he has a chance, but we thought the same thing of Troy Tulowitzki at this exact same age, and he fell off a cliff. Not saying Seager will do the same thing, but I'm hoping he's able to do so. Only 200 home runs for his career. You get the idea. 2016 Topps Chrome Sapphire, perfect card. Great job. Nothing more to say about it. Craig Kimbrell, he really hurt his legacy this year. Negative 1.1 WAR. He did have 23 saves for 440 for his career. 22.3 career WAR. It's hard to really justify. Mariano Rivera is way ahead, and then you have Trevor Hoffman, and then a few others. We're going to have Billy Wagner probably make the Hall of Fame this year as another reliever, but either way, Kimbrell's going to have an interesting time on the ballot. I think he'll eventually get in though. His Topps Finest is his best. He has a lot of really bad faces on his cards where he's making goofy faces. bases. So this Topps Finest is his best card, where it doesn't show his goofy face that he was making his rookie year. But he was really dominant for the first few years in Atlanta. 1, 2, 3, 4 years straight of leading the league in saves, which is pretty impressive. After that is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the 50% mark. And I like Vlad. I have come around to Vlad because he was able to have a big year outside of playing in minor league parks at age 22. Feels like Vlad's been around a long time. 25 years old. We're looking at a lot of players who debut at age 25 who get excited. Vlad has been doing it and accruing stats since he was 20 years old. Unfortunate 2020 cut short that particular year. Always been above average, but this year he was able to be a 166 OPS plus guy, only 1 point lower than 2021, which is pretty interesting. Only 30 home runs still compared to the 48 in 2021, but it's all progression. He has regressed drastically defensively. He's only 10th percentile, which could be worse, obviously, but first percentile on the base paths, really bad on that. So if he could improve either of those, it would help him a lot. Either way, 4 All-Stars already, 2 Silver Sluggers, All-Star MVP, Gold Glove, Home Run Derby champ, all pretty cool. He only averages 4.3 WAR for every 162 games played because he is very one-dimensional, maybe two-dimensional hit and power. So that's Vlad, and this is the rookie card I would target. I left a space for more. I didn't do it. I'm sorry, but I do like his Topps Chrome as well. That's probably what was going to be there. I like his Topps Chrome. I've always been fond of the Stadium Club. I just think it's like, look how happy he is. That's youthful joy that is you don't get once you lose all your hair and start making YouTube videos about baseball cards. But either way, I like that card. Then you have this one right here, which is his Heritage High Number card. I think it's a great looking card. I love the design. I do like the image of Vlad as well, but I would have his Topps Chrome here too. After that, 25% chance to make it. Let's run through these quick. We have Yordan Alvarez. You might say that's not fair, but he's 2 years older than Vlad with about the same amount of WAR. That's why he's here. I think out of all the guys at 25%, I think he has the best chance. If he can just do what he's doing, he averages 6.1 WAR. If he can just do what he's doing, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, in my opinion, if he does this for 5 or 10 more years, but the issue, because of 166 OPS plus, that is so much higher than what Vlad has been doing. 137. The difference is Yordan debuted later. He had a full season and they must have gotten hurt his sophomore. I don't remember 2020. But either way, he's been good. It's just he needs to stay healthy. That's his biggest issue. People are always worried about his legs. If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. But if you want to bank on health, that's a tough one to bank on. But I do think there's a good chance, at least a 25% chance. 98th percentile in hitting last year, which is great. And again, averages 6.1 WAR, which is impressive for essentially a one-dimensional baseball player. And Topps Chrome, I included an orange color match just because it was the best image of this card I could find. Plus, it looks great with the Astros jersey. This is my favorite Yordan Alvarez card, his Topps Chrome rookie. After that, Alex Bregman. You might say, why is Bregman on this list? Trash can bang bang. Astros fans, thanks for being here. Don't listen to the haters. Alex Bregman was a better player before the scandal came out, right? Just way better overall. He had 7.9, 8.9 WAR in 2018 and 2019. And then he's been he's been solid, 134 OPS, 122 OPS, 118 OPS, and he's been a very plus defender. I think Alex Bregman at 40 WAR, 39.6 Baseball Reference, 39.7 Fangraphs WAR, he has a chance. If he has a good age 30 to 35, averages 4 WAR, which is what he's done the last 3 years, that's essentially a 60 WAR player. So he could be like a Scott Rowland type, is kind of what I'm guessing with Alex Bregman. A good defender, won his first Gold Glove. I actually have a soft spot for Alex Bregman. I've always liked Alex Bregman for whatever reason. So either way, hopefully he can keep playing well. I like 2017 Topps Chrome Sapphire. I'm a simple man. I see 16, 17, or 18 Sapphire and I just say I like it. Trey Turner, I have no reason to like him less than Corey Seager, aside from the fact Corey Seager has those 2 World Series MVPs, because they're very similar. Trey Turner is also a year older, which hurts, and he's actually profiling better on the base pass because he's very fast. He's also a good hitter, not quite as good as Seager. He's averaging 5.2 WAR for every 162 games played versus Corey Seager's 5.8 WAR, and again, does not have the 2 World Series MVPs. That's what sets him lower than Seager in my eyes. A 121 OPS plus versus Seager's 135 OPS plus. The only thing that Trey Turner really has over him is the speed and the base running, but that's about it. And he hasn't stolen many bases. I don't understand. 19 last year? Like, what are we doing? He's one of the fastest players. Why is he not stealing more? It's because Schwarber's leading off, and so he gets on base and clogs the base pass most likely. But I do like 2016 Topps Chrome Sapphire, but I got sick of saying the same thing. I've always been fond of his 2016 Bowman Chrome as well. Raphael Devers, he is another one-dimensional player. I'm less optimistic on him making the Hall of Fame than Yordan Alvarez, simply because he averages 3.7 WAR for every 162 games played. We have not seen high-level Devers offense yet, though. Like, we've seen some really good years, 38 home runs in 2021. Yes, he's been good, but we haven't seen his full potential yet. So I think that's still in the tank for him, but he's so bad defensively, he's going to have to move to first base, and if that happens, I think it'll actually benefit him in a lot of ways. Either way, I hope he's able to continue to be good, because I know a lot of my friends love Raphael Devers. I'm still not not sold on him. I like Yordan more between the two if I had to pick. And 2018 Topps Chrome Sapphire is the card I picked. I chose the autograph. I know I don't do autographs. This was just to show you how cool these cards looked, but it's the base card of 2018 Topps Chrome Sapphire for me. Kyle Tucker. Spoiler alert, the cards are just not good compared to other players for images for whatever reason. Kyle Tucker, he's on an interesting path too. He is a superstar in the making, in my opinion. Obviously, he's a little bit older as well. For some reason, the Astros just didn't play him until he was 24 for no reason at all. But we can see here, he does average 5.9 WAR. He had a good year last year, a 181 OPS plus in only 78 games. He had 23 home runs and 4.7 WAR, double that for a full season. And we're looking at a 10 WAR player with 46 home runs. He would have been an amazing player if he played the whole year. That's the potential we know Kyle Tucker has, and hopefully that plays well in Fenway. I don't know how he'll profile there. I didn't look. I'm assuming good because Fenway for lefties is usually okay, I'm assuming. This is my favorite image, and this is my favorite card. His 2019 flagship Chrome aren't great. This is my favorite image of Kyle Tucker, believe it or not. I think it's cool. I think it's his best one. So, Fernando Tatis Jr., put him last only because of PEDs. If he didn't have PEDs, he'd be in at least the 50%, probably next to Acuna if I had to guess, because he missed a full season as well because of a PED suspension, while Acuna was because of 2 torn ACLs. Either way, he won a Platinum Glove. Last year was interesting because he had 5.5 WAR in 2023 and 2.6 in 2024. He played 40 more games, which is important, but realistically it's because he was the best defender in Major League Baseball. He was so good. He won the Platinum Glove, took a big step back on defense, but a big step forward offensively. He's getting closer to who he is with 276 batting average, 21 home runs in only 102 games, about 30 to 35 home runs most likely, and a 130 OPS plus. It's just we need him to do both of those things together in order to have those big 7, 8, 9, 10 WAR seasons, which we all know he has. But I don't know if he'll ever get over the PED suspension, make the Hall of Fame, unfortunately. I don't think he can, but he might be able to because it was so early in his career, and you're yelling it's the steroid cream, that it wasn't actually a steroid, it was for ringworm, I know, but regardless, he has that on his record, and so we'll have to see how that plays out. Favorite cards? I've always loved his Bowman Chrome. He's from that era where these Bowman Chromes weren't in retail, they were hobby only, so they're very rare. It's a great image, and this image is great as well. It's him with this chain, he just looks cool. That's his big thing. He's always been kind of cool, right? I think we all have a little bit of envy of his coolness. And that is my list of who I think has a chance to make the Hall of Fame. Let me know in the comments down below who I'm too optimistic about, too pessimistic about, and I will see you in the next video.